talk. Okay, let's go.
Hey, everybody. Pause up. This is Arden Moore, and welcome to Meowy Hour. I've got one of our co-feline hosts with us, pet safety cat, Casey. And as you know, this show is presented by the Cat Fancier Association. And we're very happy to have our sponsor, In Clover, the makers of both cat and dog yummy supplements. My co-pilot, the remarkable all-breed CFA cat judge, Kathy Black, and our doggy designee, the one, the only, Destiny. Casey goes, wait a minute, this is a Meowy Hour show. What about that?
Destiny got her ears all cut off. She's got her little, someone called her Rosanna Dana.
Oh, at least she's not Dan Doe. And speaking of keeping our animals safe and injury-free, and what can we do to really be a good pet parent? Well, I got to tell you, we got an expert in the house. She is an award-winning author. She knows a thing or two about websites, and she knows a lot about pet insurance. This month, guess what? Another pet holiday. It is National Pet Insurance Month, so it is very timely that we have onto our show a very talented person and a good friend, JaneA Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so we got a lot to cover tonight, and maybe, just maybe, if we keep our paws crossed, JaneA's cats Tara and Bella might make an appearance because we love personalities. We've got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk a little bit about pet insurance in depth because this is the gal that can help us. So if you have some questions right now, start typing them in, and Kathy will let me know, and we'll fire them over to JaneA. We also want to let you know that we're going to talk about, we're diving into the Chinchilla cat breed. Is that correct, Miss All-Breed Cat Judge Kathy?
Not a cat breed. We're going to discuss the coloration gene called the inhibitor gene.
Oh, all right. I always learn something when Kathy does something about cats in that segment. And as you can tell, I have a couple of mutt cats, so I have a lot to learn. We have a fun kitty cocktail tonight that has some silver tequila in it. And it sounds weird, but we're talking about half and half creamer and an egg white. Yep. We're going to whip something up for you guys. But at this time, I wanted to let you know that pet insurance, raise your paw if you have pet insurance. Raise your paw if you're thinking about it. JaneA Kelly is not selling pet insurance. Let's get that all over there.
Yeah,
but
not selling anything. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I'm just going to tell you about pet insurance.
Yeah. And we're going to share some harrowing tales of cats who are really tapping into their 7th, 8th, and 9th life on our show today. But I was doing a little noodling, and I like planet Earth. And I like to do my part to recycle. I like to do my part not to waste water and to run up electrical bills. And I didn't realize it, but our sponsor, In Clover, can you throw that little shot of them, their little thing, Kathy, the one we do with the little code?
Sure.
Okay, the reason I'm going to give a shout out for them is because since 2019, they started looking around at how they're doing their operations, and they have reduced their energy. In other words, their carbon paw print, sorry, it's a cat show, by 19%. And they had a funny way of equaling it. It means they saved enough energy to produce 9,260,180 bags of treats.
Wow. At 19% reduction? Wow.
Yes, it gets better. Now, I'm laughing because the next one's about gas. And my dad was a combustion engineer by claim and fame and occupation, but it's a different kind of gas. In Clover has reduced their gas use by 11%. And that is like, I love this. It's recycling 9,200 pounds of poop bags. I can't even fathom that mountain. And finally, because water, I lived for many years on the left coast. The left coast needs water. They reduced their water usage. You're going to like this one, Kathy and JaneA, 40% since 2019. You know what that equals?
That's significant.
That's filling 2,703,386 water bowls. Now that's something to stand up and take notice. That's why we like these guys. They make cat and dog treats. The president is a biochemist. And guys, check out, it says Meowy in Clover 21. Put that at disc when you do your checkout. You'll get 10% off. Just go to In Clover. And I just wanted to salute them for being good to planet Earth. What do you guys think?
Yeah, good for them. Not only does it protect our planet, but it also saves them in utility costs.
Yeah. And
That's fantastic. I'm thrilled that they're doing so much work to reduce their carbon paw print. If more companies did that, we might be in a better place.
That's right. And I got to talk about gas. All right. All right. We want to announce who was the winner of last week's trivia question. And the question was, what was the name of the bulldog who occasionally popped up on the screen to help save Tweety Bird from Sylvester? Now, JaneA, do you like how my college degree from Purdue is really getting into use?
Well, I know. I use my college degree every day.
So the answer was Spike. Who was the lucky winner? Because we had two prizes. One of them gets their paws on my autographed copy of Fit Cat that I wrote. And one gets, I gotta keep them in this closet because my cats go after the treats. It's a pack, 4-pack of some of the In Clover treats. Who's the lucky winners, Kathy?
Okay, well, we had a lot of discussion about that answer.
I know, I saw.
Yeah, Cheryl McConnell, which is a good friend of mine, which I haven't seen in forever, and I don't think she normally watches. So Cheryl, congratulations. You were the winner of the In Clover treats. By the way, you need to check your messenger because you haven't responded to me. And then the winner of Arden's Fit Cat book was a previous winner a long time ago, Jamie Brehob. And so congratulations to Jamie Brehob and Cheryl McConnell.
Jenny, I am a struggling writer, so I mailed your autograph book today by media mail. You will get it next week.
You'll get it in a month.
It's usually about 5 days, but it's hard to have a book and have the postage cost more than the book. I think, JaneA, you can relate, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't published any books yet, but I do know that the cost of mailing stuff can be more expensive than the cost of sending it.
I know. All right, so if you know this answer, special guest, play poker face, because we don't reveal the answer until next week. Okay, I think this might be an easy one or seem too easy that you overthink. Okay, here comes the trivia question for today. On average, how many whiskers does a cat have? And you got to count both sides.
And we're talking about just the muzzle.
Just the muzzle, because they have them here and all that. We're talking, they didn't shave, okay? All right. So there's like 3 rows. Can we give them a little hint? 3 rows. Okay, look at it. Don't give it to them. Okay. Do they have a total of 10 whiskers? A, or B, 16 whiskers. Now, don't say anything, JaneA, if you get it. Or C, 24 whiskers. Or D, 30 whiskers. So figure it out. Look at your cat right now. You've got a big clue that purrs right there in front of you. Do cats, on average, their muzzle whiskers, how many are there total? A, 10, B, 16, C, 24, or 30, or D, 30. The winner is going to get a new car. Just kidding. The winner is
10, 16,
24, and 30.
24 and 30. Okay.
And the winner will get a 4-pack of the In Clover cat treat supplements. And so check it out. So call your cat over right now. You can cheat and give your cat a treat. Now, who's the kitty? I see a tail.
That's
JaneA.
Tara. Let me
Tara,
see if I
come
can
here.
pick her up. Here.
The cat will run, of
Nope.
course.
We had a little incident. I put some ear wash in her ear yesterday, and she hid from me until this morning at breakfast time. So we're
not real
still
happy with
building
you.
trust.
Yes.
Well, I think that's pretty cool, because if I came back as a cat, I would hope that I would have a person like JaneA Kelly, because JaneA Kelly, they have a lot of titles by their name. Let me just go through it. Punk rock cat mom. Now that we should just stop right there. Punk rock cat mom. We have not had a punk rock cat mom on Meowy Hour. How did you get that title?
I like punk rock and I have cats, so I just kind of meshed the two together. And I used to wear a mohawk all the time, so
I remember.
it's kind of my trademark. So,
and it was colored.
Yes, many different colors.
Yeah. What's your favorite punk rock group, punk rock song?
Most punk rock songs don't have names that can be said on family-friendly shows. So I'll just say, like, my favorite punk band is probably the Dead Kennedys.
Oh, okay. At least I know that one. Okay, I'm feeling good, feeling a little younger now. Okay, good. What is it about punk rock that you dig?
Well, I mean, when I first got into punk, when I was in high school and college, it really helped me sort of get some of the anger I had inside of myself out. And I also got to meet some really interesting people, because the punk scene that I was part of was a very sort of political punk scene. And
okay,
I won't say, what for or anything, but
yeah, this show, we are non-partisan. Yeah.
Yes, we are non-partisan here, but it was a community that I related to, and I think it really saved my life, because I think I probably would have not lasted long if I hadn't been able to get that anger out of my head. So
I like that, though, that the music is amazing. It is therapeutic. You can be punk, you can be Mozart, but there is something in our body with the music that does help elevate our feel-good hormones and things like that. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I'm a little bit more peaceful these days. I kind of enjoy listening to, like, some classic reggae while I'm doing my work and stuff like that. But
are you doing a Marley?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think I want to name a cat Marley. I like that, but I kept thinking everybody's going to think it's a yellow lab, John Grogan. But I like the name Marley. I love classic reggae. All right, check. Punk rock bomb. Next. Website. You have a website. I'm trying to think of how you call your, Chief Cat Slave. So, all right, we've got JaneA Kelly here in the house, the best title winner of any guest on our show ever. You are first a punk rock cat mom. Now you are a chief cat slave for a website I hope everybody will dash over to, called Pause and Effect. And all you grammar people, it's an E for effect. All right, talk about that role. So you've been doing this for about 16 years, I think?
Yeah, actually, it started out on LiveJournal, if you can remember back far in the days of the internet history.
Hey, I'm before the internet. I was
but
I was a newspaper reporter.
I worked for newspapers in my 20s, so I get it.
All right.
But I was working for a web development company, and I lost my job in the .com crash. And I wanted to keep my skills alive so that, I could continue to get more of these, like, reasonably well-paying jobs and things like that. So I decided I was going to start a cat advice website, and I started it, like I said, on LiveJournal, like encouraging people to write me cat questions, and then I would answer them in the voices of the cats. And so finally we moved from LiveJournal to a regular website in 4 or 5, and then.
Do you remember what that was before WordPress, wasn't it?
It was. I started using WordPress in 2006.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been a WordPress user for a long time.
All right. So two titles so far. I'm digging this. Her day job, if you want to call that, is a digital marketing manager for a boutique digital marketing agency in Seattle. Can you even say that on an elevator ride?
No, I usually say I'm in marketing. I hope they don't think I'm a soulless droid.
So what kind of boutique is it?
Yeah.
Well, when I say a boutique agency, I mean a really small agency that has very customized sort of, work with the different clientele. And in that job, I do a lot of social media planning, a lot of content writing, content planning, do a lot of website development, monitoring news for mentions that our clients are interested in.
And what kind of service are they providing?
My company?
Yeah.
Oh, so we do like we're basically a pretty much full service digital. So we build websites, we do search engine optimization, social strategy, etc.
Okay, I got you.
And the other thing is, check this out. This gal is one of the regular contributors to Catster, both digital and print form. Catster used to be called Cat Fancy, but then they had it to be hip, and they changed it to Catster. So, JaneA, what's some of the things you enjoy best about being able to be in one of the most largely circulated cat publications on the planet?
Well, it's really gratifying, actually. I feel sort of humbled that I've been able to work for Catster, both in the print and the digital editions. I sort of, as a writer, I sort of nurtured this hope that I would get published in a national publication someday. And then when—
Check. Yeah. But you've been published and you have won awards, including several from the Cat Writers Association. And guys, if you get a Muse medallion from the CWA, that is like winning an Oscar. It is our academy, right, JaneA? Mm-hmm. So you've won a few.
Yeah.
Do you have a whole room full now, or?
No, just I have them in my tchotchke cabinet with my crystals and gemstones and woo-woo stuff. It's all the things that make me feel happy when I look at them, and my Muse medallions make me feel happy and again humbled. So
yeah. Well, I think that's good. I'm just going to give the listeners who are from all over, some who have purebred cats, some who have cats, we have no idea what their DNA is. You've done things like 4 signs a cat is in heat. You've done, now she goes from that, kitty 6, to 6 cat gods and goddesses from ancient times. So what I'm bringing up, there goes Rusty, what I'm bringing up is you have a wide berth of feline knowledge. And I'm assuming you're always learning new things.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if I'm not like reading books, I every time I go to a bookstore, the first place I stop is the pet books to see if there are any new cat books out.
Oh, there's a new one out.
Called Fit Cat, right?
Oh, this one. This one is called A Kid's Guide to Cats, JaneA. Nice. It came out during COVID. It has Casey in it.
No.
It's for kids. And it just went into its 4th printing in 1 year.
Oh, wow. That's great. Congratulations.
It's only the first time I've ever had that. So
yeah.
If you're interested, if Tara and Bella are, I would be happy and honored to send it to you.
I would love that, actually.
All right. I am not Oprah. You do not get a car on my show. You get my gratitude and maybe a book. So we'll get your information afterwards.
Sure.
But what about the history of cats? We're going to get into a pet first aid in just a second, but So you also plunged into ancient, because they were really much adored back then, and the Egyptians and all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, cats were a religious symbol in Egyptian time, in ancient Egyptian world. I mean, they have cat mummies, and
Yeah.
and I think they used cats to offer prayers up to the gods. So I mean,
And they would
the way
shave their
that.
eyebrows off when their cat died in mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Shaved
would
their
wonder what
eyebrows
happens if 3 cats died.
You still have no eyebrows.
Okay. I just didn't know if you became bald or what the next thing was with the razor. All right. I want to make sure, Kathy, because I can't see it, you did put her pause and effects and some of her social media things on there?
Yeah, I put all of them. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So let's plunge in. Pet insurance.
Mhm.
It's been around for about 20 some years. I know in Europe, it's a lot more common.
Mhm.
And I know that Pets Best Insurance and some others were one of the pioneers. There seems to be at least a dozen different ones out there.
Yeah.
But you did work for one for a couple of years, and she's already clarified she is not selling insurance, everybody. So stay around.
Yeah.
Because
I don't work for them anymore. I don't have any reason to sell their policies. They'd have to pay me to do that.
Yeah, good. So we're as curious as, I don't know, a cat, to know a little bit about pet insurance. And so it really is humbly, I mean, it can be very confusing. So can it kind of help us out understand? Let's start with the basics. I mean, how does pet insurance work?
Okay, well, pet insurance, the first thing you need to understand before I tell you how pet insurance works is that since pets are legally considered property in the United States, which is a horrible thing. Like, I don't think I own my cats. They're part of my family, but that's how they're legally thought of here in the US. And because of that, pet insurance operates on a property and casualty model, like homeowners insurance, car insurance, renters insurance, that sort of thing. And the other important thing to know there are some important similarities and differences between pet insurance and human health insurance.
Okay.
First of all, it's like human health insurance in that there are deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance. And those deductibles can vary based on the plan you choose, as can your co-insurance and everything.
Right.
And so that would be very familiar to anyone looking for insurance. But there are ways that pet insurance is not like human health insurance, which is pretty significant.
Can you give us a couple of differences?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, pet insurance doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. So if your cat already has an illness or is showing signs or symptoms of an illness before you enroll your cat, then that condition wouldn't be covered.
Okay, that's good to know, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's really important. So that's why.
So if your cat is starting to show early signs of maybe being prone to having diabetes with the big clump in the litter, you might want to get that pet insurance before it's diagnosed as diabetes.
Well, I do have to tell you that it can be in the presence of signs or symptoms that would indicate the disease too. So.
Shoot.
Like you take your cat to the vet for excessive urination, and they have to say no sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
So get them like any kind of it. It's like any kind of insurance. You can't. Yeah. You can't take out homeowners insurance while your house is on fire.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
because there's a hurricane coming tomorrow, so I need insurance today. Yeah, insurance companies don't operate that way, so that would make sense.
And if it's okay, Kathy, you have a little knowledge in the insurance world, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, for the two people that don't know, tell them what your occupation is when you're not with cats. And Destiny.
I have a license to do life and health insurance, so I do mostly health insurance with Medicare, Medicaid, but I also do life insurance, long-term care insurance, hospital indemnity plans, cancer policies, dental policies, those kind of things. So we've had several people ask us, do these plans cover prescriptions?
Yeah.
Let's
get her with that first.
And then my question is it an indemnity plan, or do you have networks that you should be concerned about?
There's no networks. You can go to any vet you want. So that's a major difference from human health insurance. You don't have to be in network.
Okay.
The flip side of that, though, is that pet insurance typically operates on a reimbursement basis. So you have to pay the vet bill and then submit the claim.
Oh, okay.
So
it is like an indemnity plan then. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know that. Yeah. I worked for a pet insurance company, but I still didn't learn everything.
Okay. Indemnity means that you pay up front and then you turn it in and they reimburse you based on their recommendation of how much a traditional procedure should cost. So if your vet charges 10 times more than what they say it should be, then you're only going to get back whatever the percentages of the customary charges.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is good. Go ahead.
That's actually another thing that's interesting, because there are pet insurance companies that cover based on the actual cost of care. And there are pet insurance companies that cover based on the usual and customary costs.
Okay.
So the way I like to explain it is that if you have a pet insurance company that covers based on the actual cost, and let's just say for the simple math, your veterinarian is doing an x-ray because your cat may have swallowed something they shouldn't have.
Okay.
But let's say the vet charges $100 for the x-ray. If you have no deductible, then you would get returned to you 90%, let's say, of the cost of that x-ray. So you'd be reimbursed $90.
Okay.
However, if you go with a pet insurance company that's based on usual and customary costs, and the vet bills you $100 for your x-ray, and they say the usual and customary cost is $80, then what happens? You get reimbursed, like the condition is covered, but you get reimbursed based on the usual and customary cost, which is lower than the actual cost you paid. So it's really important I think there's only one pet insurance company I know that operates on a usual and customary cost basis, but I haven't studied every single pet insurance company in the US.
Is there, I know there's a pet insurance association. Can you say what that is and what the website is, and maybe Kathy can type it in, and so people can, isn't there like a association where they try to get along or not?
Well, actually, the site that I would recommend most is called Pet Insurance University.
Okay.
And it's run by an independent veterinarian, not employed by any pet insurance companies, who actually, upon seeing his clients' confusion about pet insurance, decided to kind of dive in and learn about all the pet insurance policies that are available in the US.
So Pet Insurance University.
Yeah,
and it was
pet-insurance-university.com.
Thank you. Pet-insurance-university.com. And pause and applause for this veterinarian who's already busy, but has found this compassion, this need to maybe separate the confusion and all for people. So it's kind of like a Ralph Nader of pet insurance, right? Am I really dating myself? Oh, no.
No. Well, I mean, I know who Ralph Nader is, so I guess we can all raise a glass.
Somebody that's an interested party that isn't part of the of a program.
Yeah, I mean, he genuinely wants to help people understand pet insurance. And I think it's great that he's doing this, because he's explaining the benefits and the gotchas of all of these different policies, because every policy has a gotcha.
Now, there is a question, because some folks, it's very important to control pet population. And what about policies? Do they cover things like having the cat spayed or neutered?
Well, pet insurance typically does not cover routine care like vet visit, like checkups, spay, neuter, vaccinations, things like that. And the reason behind that is that, generally speaking, you can budget. You're going to take your cat to the vet once or twice a year for checkups, depending on how old they are. You're going to have your cat spayed if your cat didn't come to you spayed. And that you're going to have your cat's teeth cleaned to keep them healthy. So, I mean, the whole point is that pet insurance is protection from risk, and the risk is of having a very large expense that you can't afford to pay.
Right. And we don't want economic euthanasia.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the, I've actually, like, I remember working with somebody when I was at the pet insurance company. He called me desperate because he had a puppy that had just ingested a foreign body, and the emergency vet was quoting him $3,500 for the surgery.
Wow.
And he couldn't afford it. And he knew that the company I worked for had a way of paying veterinarians directly, but I had to talk the emergency clinic into accepting payment directly from us.
You know what? Thank you, JaneA. JaneA, thank you for doing that. Yeah, because pets are everything. Pets are everything. Now,
so routine stuff is not covered. It's only emergencies, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, or diseases. I mean, it's not just going to the emergency vet. It's like if your cat gets kidney disease or diabetes or, you know.
Right. And now, is there any, can you, once you get a basic policy, before any happens, and you want to dive in deeper, can you buy additional coverages, any policies for something before, you know, there's any issue?
Yeah, a lot of pet insurance companies will offer riders, which is additional coverage for an extra cost.
Okay.
The company I worked for offered a complimentary care rider that covered acupuncture and chiropractic and very traditional Chinese medicine and various, like, you know, complementary medicines that can help with long, you know, chronic disorders or pain or things like that.
Now, is there anything that, because we have some portion of our audience, they have purebred cats, and we know there's certain breeds that are more predisposed to some genetic issues. See, the Cat Fancier Association also is doing what it can to push the household cats also to be spotlighted and recognized and honored. But for policies, is there any things that deal with any kind of a hereditary or a breed that you know of?
Some pet insurance companies actually do have policies that exclude treatment for various genetic conditions. I've usually said the company I worked for didn't have any restrictions on those things. It's just as long as the cat wasn't showing signs or symptoms, they're fine. Which is another reason why, which is a good reason why I always encourage people to insure their cats young. Not only will your premium generally be lower, but you're much less likely to run into that pre-existing condition situation.
Yeah,
and
that's
let me
an
ask
insurance thing.
Kathy, what would be a couple of breeds that you could think of that are more prone to a certain hereditary condition?
Well, I would say, you know, the brachycephalic, any of the ones with the real flat faces. I mean, some of the airlines will not accept those as cargo, like the bulldogs, the Persians, you know, different things like that. So I don't know, they may think those may have more breathing issues or something. I don't know, but I think it's a good point to bring up that you need to do your homework and make sure they're not excluding any particular breeds. You know, they may exclude some dog breeds that are, you know, have bad reputations of getting in fights or something, you know. So
or they'll be happy to write you a policy, but they just won't cover what you need to have covered. Like if you're
well, that makes a lot of sense, Jane. I like, yes, please, some more. Hey, what about the cost? Because this is the deal. You know, we love our pets. And I say, when I teach my pet first aid classes, hey guys, you can ding my car, you can take my jewelry, it's not much, but my most priceless asset purrs or wags the tail. And so what are we talking about for what to look for in a policy price? And what's the difference between that and the care credit that your dentist and your veterinarian are starting to offer you when you get walloped with a big bill?
Okay, well, let's start out first with the difference between pet insurance and care credit. First of all, care credit is a credit card. You are taking on debt if you get a care credit card, and you will have to pay it back.
Okay.
Whereas with pet insurance, what happens is that you pay the vet, and then the pet insurance company pays you for reimburses you for what's covered. So you're kind of on the hook ahead of, until you get, to make the initial payment.
Right.
But you'll get reimbursed by the pet insurance company, and they're doing really well. A lot of them about being speedy with reimbursements and claim decisions.
Good. Right.
I know the company I worked for was really built out its claims team. And here's another thing you should know. Claims adjusters aren't just, they're not just, pencil pushers. They are actual veterinary professionals. The claims adjusters at the company I worked for were all licensed vet techs.
Wow.
There were 5 staff veterinarians who they could consult if they had a question. They got continuing education credits. So these are people.
That's good to know. It's good to know. Yeah.
So
all right. So
it's good because you have a good chance of, like, if something doesn't get covered and having a rational appeal, you actually have that because you'll have veterinarians looking at your claim. But on the other side, if you're wanting to BS somebody or try and convince them that the illness wasn't happening 6 months ago, then
good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah. You're talking to the profession that knows what is going. So thank you for explaining the difference between care credit and pet insurance premiums. So talk about what can we realistically expect for like a monthly premium for cat?
I'm going to say it's hard to say. It varies so much from company to company. Like, I mean, my cat's premiums, because I enrolled them older, are a little older, but like, for example, I pay, and I have really low deductibles on my policies. So I pay about $80 a month per cat, but you could get a policy for probably as little as $30 a month if you wanted to go with a catastrophic policy that had like a $1,000 deductible. So if you get that $10,000 expense, you can at least have something to help you cover it.
No, that sounds good. And I do know that some policies they have a finite amount for a condition, and others are based on annual needs or something. Am I asking that right?
I think what you're talking about is deductibles.
Okay.
Because the deductible, there are the 2 different models. There's the per condition deductible and there's the per year annual deductible, which you'd be more familiar with through your health insurance.
Yeah.
Is there a max per year they'll pay out typically?
Some pet insurance companies have coverage limits, some don't. Like the company I worked for had no limits for coverage. And I think we were going to talk about some of those kind of stories later on.
Yeah, in a minute. Hey, so with pet insurance, you have it, and I hope you never need it for Tara or Bella. Do you have any idea? Because I know in Europe, it seems to have more people are on board. I keep thinking it's not as high of a percentage of people with pets who actually have pet insurance. That seems to be a hard rock or something for this.
Yeah, that's, I think so many people have such bad experiences with their own health insurance that they're reluctant to buy health insurance for their pets, maybe thinking that they're going to have a similar experience. There's so much less bureaucracy in a pet insurance company precisely because
that's good to know.
The vet isn't billing your insurance, and then the insurance does this and that and the other thing, adding.
Yeah, now your vet's driving 3 Cadillacs and has another home in the Bahamas. Yeah, you don't see that. All right, so it is, but it isn't. Do you know what the percentage of folks have pets that may have pet insurance? Do you have any idea? Or
oh my gosh, I think the percentage of Americans who have pet insurance is still less than 10%.
Okay.
Probably
so there's
less than 10%.
There's a lot of companies fighting for that 10% of the pie.
No, there's a lot of companies fighting for that 10% of the pie, but they're also looking to make the pie bigger by helping to raise awareness about pet insurance. And,
they're after the 90% that don't have it.
So with that, I did a little research, and I wanted to get your take, JaneA, on some of these cases. So in 2020, obviously suckier. Can we all just agree? Suckier. Yeah. But different companies have like their annual, this was the wackiest, weirdest cases that they've had to deal with. And we always hear about the dog who eats the sock or the rock or something like that. But there was a Bengal cat who made the top 10 of uh-oh, because this cat was trying to defy gravity. And apparently the Bengal jumped out of a window, landed on his owner's palm tree, not once, but twice. And both times he got a palm spiked, removed from his paw. And the last time it cost the pet parent $783. You know, it's the proverbial line with the thorn. What do you think of that case, JaneA?
Oh, that's funny, and it's so cat like. I mean, it's
do it again.
I mean, I've had cats that have done that, you know, and cats. I mean, I think a lot of people also kind of assume that cats maybe don't need insurance because maybe they live indoors and they're not as much risk or anything.
They're ninjas.
Like that. Yeah, they are ninjas.
They could be clumsy ninjas too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would easily expect to pay $783 to have like a palm spike.
Yeah, and if you had pet insurance, you had a deductible. It's a lot less. Okay, there was a Sphinx cat in Texas. This is scary, and I always tell people, if you have a recliner and you have a cat, before you close up that recliner, will you just look around? I'm known as America's pet health and safety coach. This is really important to me. This poor kitty got injured severely when a reclining chair closed on her, and the kitty was hiding under the recliner and needed to have, oh my gosh, a lot of severe injuries and cuts and bruises, but it has a happy tail. Kitty made it. Kitty survived. There's another cat, this is bizarre, who jumped off the cat tree. We see our cats do that all the time, right, JaneA?
Yeah.
And the tail got caught in the window blinds. And the poor kitty, the tail was a wreck, severely broken and wounded. And they were worried that there would be permanent nerve damage. Fortunately, there were not, but the people had pet insurance. Finally, there's a cat named Minnow, lives in Georgia. So, hey, Minnow, I know you're tuning in right now, Minnow. Minnow is one of the first cats who won what's called the Ham Bone Award, because Minnow was missing for a while and was missing for about 3 weeks. And when she was finally found, she was starving, dehydrated, had a broken rib, lost 1/3 of her body weight. But the bill was about $2,000, and the insurance covered $1,500 of it. So talk about that, the ham bone. That's not an award you want your cat to win, right?
No, it is not. like when I tell people, when I was working at the pet insurance company, people would say, so what's the return on my investment? And I'd be like, look, you don't want a return on your investment if you have pet insurance, because that means your pet is sick.
Yeah, that's so funny. Also, guys, people are looking at my hair right now. I'm sure you are, because I can never do this hair looking like this. And I have to fulfill a promise. Right before the show went on the air, I got my hair cut and colored. And I have a new guy. His name is Michael Carter in Dallas, and he's watching the show. He has a little dog named Oliver, who's 14. And I want to tell you, Small World. Tell us what the Small World is, Kathy.
Well, he was introduced to me for help with some insurance. So it's like,
he's telling me I got an insurance person that's helping me with because he and I are the same age and he's getting Medicare. And I was just going to say, I know somebody, but I didn't, because I was getting my hair colored. It's the same. It's Kathy. What do you think of that, JaneA? It's small. She's in Oklahoma. Come on, that's a small world.
I get around.
All right. I know you're in the Pacific Northwest, but you were from the Northeast.
Yes, I am.
I know that you got an amazing degree, or you studied English and creative writing at the University of Maine. So you went from one coast to the other, and I understand you want to come back to the Northeast.
Yeah, actually, my best friend, who I've been friends with her since high school, so that's like 35 years now. She helped me kind of have a soft landing when I moved out here. She was like begging me to move out here. And finally, I was at the point of where I just become burned out with my job, with my life in Maine, like felt like there was no opportunities for me there at all. So I decided to move to Seattle.
Yeah, just next door.
Yeah. And I drove across the country with 3 cats in the back seat in their carriers.
How was it? Did they go, are we almost there yet? Are we almost there yet? Are we almost there yet?
They actually were really pretty good. Like once I got out on the freeway, they just kind of chilled out and went to sleep.
Oh, good,
but
good.
My oldest cat, Susie, always had complaints. And one day she just wouldn't stop meowing, and she wouldn't stop meowing, and she wouldn't stop meowing. And finally I was like, what is it, Susie? What's the matter? And she was like, meow. I was like, okay, fine, I'll change the music. I realized I'd been listening to the same CD for like 3 days. So
oh my gosh, really? Did that do the trick? I was busy
driving, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Did that do the trick for Susie?
Oh my gosh, yeah, you wouldn't. I was like, I changed the music and it was like this headbanger, heavy metal, like hair band, like compilation that I'd put together. And she loved it. She's like going to sleep to Motley Crue. And I was like, okay.
Oh my God, that's really cool. That's cool. So you're going to be moving back to the Northeast. So you found, I guess there is New Hampshire is going to be the destination. Why do you like that New Hampshire?
Well, particularly I like the place where we're planning to live has a lot of like intellectual and cultural capital, as I call it. There are a lot of smart people around there. There are a lot of great activities and art galleries and like diversity and things like that. And we were initially looking at Massachusetts, but Massachusetts is just completely unaffordable.
Yeah.
So Nashville was a little less expensive. So
well, I wish you a great journey. Are you driving across the country with Tara and Bella eventually?
I am not going to drive across the country with them. It's been 8 years since I drove across the country once, and I don't want to make my car take the drive again. I'd like to actually get there.
Tell me quickly, because they're being camera shy, and we're going to get on to the rest of the show, but what are their personalities like? Because they're pretty well known on pause and effects, and so tell us about Tara and Bella.
Well, Bella is a perma kitten. She just she's 9 years old and she still loves to run around the house, and she can entertain herself for hours playing with her favorite toy. I mean, she just and she's just got this, like, I say she's got springs on her springs, because she's just so bouncy and kind of everywhere, and she's just a little love. And then Tara is a sweet and quiet cat. She's a bit more shy. Okay. And she was rescued from the mean streets of Seattle. So it took her a while to feel comfortable in our house. She wasn't feral, but she was like a house cat that found herself without a house. So
yeah. Did she get along with Bella?
They do too. I mean, they coexist peaceably. Bella likes to chase Tara, and Tara's not really into it, but they get along well enough. They don't have fights or anything like that, so that's good.
Well, hey, we have on our show JaneA Kelly. As you guys see, she knows a lot about pet insurance. She is a compassionate journalist and advocate for cats. She writes a lot about their health and their behavior. I hope you go to pauseandeffects.com, and she gave us that pet-insurance
university.com.
Yeah, I put the link on the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this time, stick around, please, JaneA, because Kathy is going to tackle a tough one as one of our, we always like to do something about cats in our CFA moment, and she's going to talk a little bit about some things dealing with the chinchilla as I temporarily go off screen so I can get ready to make you guys a kitty cocktail. Take it away, Kathy.
Okay, so this is a topic that I've been kind of wanting to discuss for a while, but it's a difficult topic to discuss. It can get very complicated, very deep. I'm going to keep it very simple for everybody. We're going to talk about the inhibitor gene, which is the gene that's behind our chinchilla, shaded, smokes, goldens, those kind of patterns, okay? So first of all, I have to say that cat coat genetics determine the color, the pattern, the length, and the texture. And understanding this is very challenging because there's a lot of genes that are involved. But these are just genetics that cause the coat color, not necessarily a breed, okay? So like we're talking about the albino gene that we see in our Siamese, we can see that in any other breed like a Siberian or a Cornish Rex or Devon Rex or something like that. So we're just going to be talking about the inhibitor gene. I'm going to use mostly Persians in my demonstration, but it doesn't only happen in Persians, okay? So the smoke, shaded, and tip patterns are due to the inhibitor gene, which that gene allows the pigment only to be on the tip of the hair, and it reduces the amount of color that gets on the rest of the hair. So the base or the shaft of it will be white or ivory. In the golden series, it'll be golden. And the width of the band has polygenes that come into the effect of it. It also happens most dramatically in our black, blue, chocolate, cinnamon, lilac colors, where you can really see the difference between that white undercoat and the tipping color. In the reds and the creams, we call those cameos. So this is a very complicated slide. I'm not going to get into this. It's just talking about the two proteins that really control how the color is laid down versus your regular tabby pattern. I'm not going to get into that. So when we look at our regular tabby colored cat, it has bands of color. This is, say, a silver tabby Persian or a silver tabby cat. So you're going to have alternating bands of the white, the black, the white, the black. Okay, this is what we call a silver in a regular tabby cat. If you just have the tips, or what we call chinchilla, then it's just the last quarter of the hair gets the color and the rest of it gets the blocking gene, the inhibitor gene that doesn't allow that color to come in. So this is the chinchillas. The shadeds are about a half gets color on the tips, and then our smokes are about 3/4 of it gets color. So the tipping is not restricted to black, okay? But we use the term shell to describe it in the reds, or cameos, like a cream cameo colored of the old style cameo necklaces. So like I said, there's lots of different terms. It's kind of complicated. So let's just narrow it down to the three basic patterns. We have the chinchilla. That's the one that's just barely tipped, has black tipped fur on a white undercoat. Okay, its best short hair breed would be the Vermillas. And because it is so faint and so difficult to see, it's hard to show you pictures of it, but I do have some pictures, but it's just barely got any color on the tips of the hair, so it's really difficult to photograph. More common is the shaded, and the shaded is where you have the last 1/3 of it. And it will be darkest on the back. Sometimes you'll even see like a mantle of color covering the back, and I have some pictures to show you that looks like that. And then the heaviest degree of this is the smoke. And unlike the tipped and the shaded, these are genetically solid, non-agouti colored cats, okay? But the width of it is a lot more dramatic because you have more color with that white underneath. So enough talk, let's look at some pictures. So,
hey.
So
I'm just saying my brain hurts, but I first of all, this is amazing. Just petting a cat, there's so much to their coat, their color, so keep going.
Okay, so the chinchillas, remember, these are the ones that just barely have the tip. So if you look real close, you can just barely see a difference in the color on the tips of these hairs. Like I said, it's very difficult to show in pictures. In the color, in the red and the creams, we call it cameos and shells. So this is a red or shell cameo. This is a shell cream. So these just barely have any color on the very ends of the hair. More common is, oh, let me show you in short hair. So this is a Vermilla, Chinchilla Vermilla, and you can really see like in where the creases are, where the fur kind of doubles up on itself, you end up seeing a little more color. So it's a little easier to see on a short hair. Then the shadeds are the ones that we say have more of the mantle. So you see this more mantling. They'll have the color up the back of the hocks. You can see that these hairs have more color on them. So now we're looking at about a half of the hair having the color. And this is the shaded. In the reds, we call these cameos, so you can really see the mantle of the color on these cats. And in the Vermilla short hair, you can really see it almost looks like it's ticked, like an Abyssinian fur, but it's not. It's just that instead of the banding going down each hair, it only has two colors. It has the white undercoat with the tipping. And then we get into the smokes, and the smokes are the most dramatic because most of the cat is solid colored. The hair is just the base of it has the white. In fact, the CFA standard says when the cat's not moving, it should appear as a solid colored cat. And then when it moves, you can see that hair part and you can see that really pretty white. This is a very difficult pattern. These are all difficult patterns. The cats will look perfectly in coat and pattern like 1 week of the year. Okay, so it's a very difficult color to work with. And typically a smoke will look like it's a not solid colored cat. So when you see a black, it won't be as coal black as you would expect a solid black cat. It'll have more of this graying, you know, in the rough, and because it's not a complete dominant gene, and so it's real difficult to get a perfect specimen. You can have it in other colors. Okay, so you can have a blue. This is a blue cream smoke, so we can have not just the black series. We can have it with, you know, tortoiseshells and that kind of thing. And it also happens in the bicolor pattern. So you can have a smoke and white. And I found this Maine Coon that you can clearly see his coloration is the smoke coloration, and he has the white bib and the white feet and the white belly hair. So you can have the smoke gene in the bicolor pattern also. You can also have it in the other non-black colors. But that's just a quick discussion about chinchillas and shadeds and smokes. Just kind of give you an idea. Like I said, I think it's the most difficult pattern to not only work with as a breeder, but also judge. because
what do you think, JaneA? That's pretty. You got schooled on science.
Oh, I think it's great. I didn't know about the variations of the shading for the chinchilla and the smoke and the others. And I was actually just reading a story, I think on Genome Web last week, about that they discovered some more genes that influence the tabby pattern in cats. And it turns out that the skin is actually a little bit thicker in the parts of the with the hairs with the dark spots. So in the dark parts, the skin is a little thicker than it is in the white parts. And if you've ever seen a tabby cat shaved, sometimes you can actually see their stripes on their skin.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kathy, thank you for diving in. I love this. That's what I love Meowy Hour. We're learning about pet insurance. We're learning about getting shaded by a chinchilla. We have just a few minutes left, guys, and we do want to make sure that people know about the CCW. Do you know about this, JaneA? It's pretty cool. Take it away, Kathy.
Yeah, so it's Companion Cat World. It's CFA's program to recognize the non-pedigreed cats. We talk about this every week. It's cfa.org/CCW, a one-time fee of $13 to register your cat. Upload a picture, you get a card with your cat's picture on it. Oh. But I want everybody to tell everybody about this program. So my Lyft driver last weekend in Tampa, I got to talking to him on our ride. He has a cat at home. I told him he needs to register his cat with our program. He was so excited. I sent him the link, and he's going to register Flipper, his cat.
Rusty's a proud card-carrying member of the CCW.
Right. So check it out at cfa.org/CCW. And everybody tell everybody you meet about it.
Now, we've had JaneA Kelly's been talking a lot about pet insurance, and it's all a lot about risk and how to be able to financially deal with uh-ohs. If you could put that next slide on. Jane, I don't know if you know, but I'm a master in pet first aid, and I teach various different classes. Two of my teaching assistants are right there in that photo. I do teach a veterinarian approved cat only first aid class. It's through Zoom. Thank you. Wish we bought stock in the fall of 19. We did not. But we have a next class coming. I believe it's October 12th. It's going to be from 5 to 8 Central Time. So if you guys are interested, go to Pet First Aid for You. You get a 2-year certificate, you get my bad jokes, but you get to learn how to maybe save your pet's life. I teach a full course, and the next one is September 26th for cats and dogs. So that's my
those
passion.
pet first aid courses are fantastic. I mean, I think every cat owner should take a pet first aid course.
And you should see when you have Casey and Rusty as the teachers with that purr. And it gives it more of a reality. So because we do it through Zoom, I can teach anyone from anywhere on the globe, and their cats are at home and they're not freaking out in the classroom. So, all right, that's it. But you guys ready to celebrate cats? I am. Are you ready, JaneA?
I am.
All right. So as you know, I'm your local licensed bartender. And this one is for the kitty cocktail today. It's called the Possum Tequila Sour Power Drink because it's a perfect twist to the classic margarita. And big shout out to Teresa Kiger. She is a CFA all-breed judge and an amazing graphic designer. And yep, she did that for us. So thank you. So to make this recipe, first of all, I have to put away the treats from trying to grab from me. But you want to take a cocktail shaker, and you want to have it already with ice. And then you want to put in silver tequila, and you want 2 ounces, which is an 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. JaneA, I have to pour slowly per Kathy's request. Then you want to put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, which this is a cheater's way of doing it. Here's 1 tablespoon. Here's 2. Now it's going to sound really weird. We're going to now do 1 tablespoon of simple syrup. You can make this with sugar and water, but if you want to be fancy, buy it. There you go. And then this one's going to sound weird. All right, so we got it all in there, right? We're going to shake this, but we're going to add a magic ingredient. So we put this in first, get this all marinated. Now, this sounds like I'm going Rocky Balboa here. You're going to then add, oh wait, I forgot it. It's in the refrigerator. It's egg white. You're going to put an egg white in there. Now, if I try to do it right now, we'll be out of town. So here, everybody use your imagination. Arden is putting the egg white in there. She's shaking it up again. Then you're going to take a martini, and you've already rimmed the sugar and lemon on the edges.
So sugar, not salt, right?
Sugar and lemon, yes. When you're doing this one, it's sugar and lemon, and then you're going to strain it.
So what's the purpose of the egg white?
It just gives it a little fluff.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's optional. Hey, I made the recipe so I can create it. It's optional. And then just you want to spritz it up a little bit with, you want to adorn it with a nice lemon wedge. And give it a little sprinkle of nutmeg. And a little sprinkle of cinnamon. Whoa, I almost dropped it.
Yeah, don't make a mess.
Well, it's just my computer keyboard. All right. So, guys, at this time, please, let's raise a glass and let us toast to all cats, purebreds and ones we don't know. Who's your mama? Who's your daddy? Because they make our lives whole and special. Cheers, kitties.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Flanta.
Oh, this is good. It's gonna say good night, Arden. I'm glad I'm gonna be home because I just have 2 ounces of silver tequila. Hey guys, we want to really do a big shout out to our very special guest, JaneA Kelly. JaneA, thank you so much for being here, and your elusive cats, Bella and Tara. And thanks for sharing some information. We really needed to cover this topic.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. It's been a super fun experience. You ladies have made it really painless to be on this podcast, and the time just went by so quickly because I was having fun. So
yeah, we're way over time.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to make it. I also have to do a shout out to the Cat Fancier Association for coming up with this idea of every Wednesday night having Meowy Hour and asking Casey, Rusty, and I to be part of it with Kathy. You guys, you can catch it on YouTube, catch it on Facebook, on my Facebook page, on the CFA. If you can't make it, tell your friends. We really would like them to join us. We love our sponsor, In Clover, and we love that they are very good to planet Earth. So please check out In Clover, put in Meowy Hour 21, and you can get a 10% discount at checkout. Next week, our guest is going to be the amazing Dr. Ken Lambrick and his sidekick, cool adventure cat, Bug. So until next time, same cat channel, same cat time. We're going to see you on Meowy Hour. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks
kitties.
for coming.